What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Soup. Soup the Great here. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Joe, the legend Joe. And this is a show match between, it's a show match between Joe and Soup. A best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. It's hosted by DoD's Marty. He's been throwing together a couple of tournaments of late, trying to get some of the best players to have some fun and interesting games. I do think like this kind of format is the best type of format just for funsies, because there's nothing. Well, I mean, there's obviously eternal glory on the line, but these guys are just going to be out here trying to get some dubs, trying to make some good games of it, and you couldn't really ask for two more fun players here. I believe that there is that god restriction thing in this series, which means they can't play the same god the whole time. I'm not exactly sure, but they have had to pre-select their gods, and they are all different. So there is that. So we'll see how things are going to go. The map is Borderlands, for those of you uninitiated. Borderlands is a bit of a strange map. You start with a bit of a wood line right through the middle here, and your enemy base is just here, right through this wood line. So there's actually a world here where, as Thor or as Odin, you can use Forest Fire here, open this base up, and hit this enemy gold mine immediately without any need to do like anything. You can absolutely open this map up with a forest fire, and it can be really, really big. Alternatively, you could just forest fire this or forest fire this, and that's also fine. We are seeing Joe already moving over onto his caribou now. Very, very nice, nice little hunt location there. Walrus into caribou right next to him. Joe's going to be really happy about that. We're also seeing something very similar here from Soup. Both players managing to make that work beautifully in the early game. We do see that Soup goes for this early Dwarven Gold Mine. This is something he really, really likes to do. And generally speaking, the reason for this is to get a very, very fast advance time here. As we also see this villager jumping onto the cows here for some reason, not coming over onto the food. Maybe Soup just wants to stay 6 villagers on this food and then move these villagers over onto wood and gold here. Because he also takes the villager off the gold mine there. Very interesting build order here from Soup. He's going to be advancing incredibly fast. It would seem maybe 4 minutes into this game. And on the other hand, we're seeing the temple coming up for Joe a little bit late. Now, it is my opinion. It might be a wrong opinion, but it is my opinion that in the so long as your villagers are not completely out in the open and you're completely fine, you're actually fine to advance a little bit late in the Norse War. Like, for example, here we are going to be seeing Soup. Oh, we actually didn't advance here. He's cutting villages, and he is very, very bizarrely behind here as he's going up through Freya at basically the normal time. 5 villagers on wood, 4 villagers on gold, 6 villagers on food. We're also seeing Freya come through for Joe. So my opinion is that advancing fast really doesn't net you all too much in the grand scheme of things. Because you can just get yourself out Herso while you're advancing. So long as you're building Herso at roughly the same time your opponent's building Herso, and Soup's got himself like half a Herso more than Joe at this point, it seems. So long as you're building these, there's not really a whole lot of damage that your opponent can do. You might have to pull off the hunt for like 20 seconds or something, come back onto berries, and then you can go back out there a little bit later, but it should be fine. But we'll see how things are going to go here. As more walls are going to be coming up over on this location over here, we do see the villagers jumping onto these elk here. We do have some relics on the map. We've got the Bridle of Pegasus here. This one's going to give you a Pegasus. And as Thor, it's very, very useful because you don't have those juicy ravens. As Soup's going to be riding in here with his Valkyrie searching for something to do. We're going to see the longhouses getting thrown up. I do think playing defensively here in these kind of situations is going to be your best bet in like the Norse mirror, especially like if you're playing like Thor versus Thor or Odin versus Odin or Loki versus Loki. Playing defensively makes the most sense, especially if it's a mirror matchup. But when you're going Thor versus Odin, there is some advantage to be had here playing as Thor or some advantage to be playing as Odin. So if you can find that advantage and abuse that a little bit, you can find a slight edge here. So We've got longhouses coming up right now and already raiding cavalry coming through for Soup in this early stages of the game as the Valkyrie's going to be swinging around here. And look at this. Joe's going to be getting himself pickaxe at this point, but so too is Soup actually. But these villagers have to leave this location for the time being as Joe is nowhere to be seen. However, Joe's now going to be finding Soup's villagers over here as he's pushing through onto this position. Has a slight army lead here as he's made some Ulfsucks out in the early stages of this game as we see the throw and axeman coming out. Villagers getting shanked away. It looks like Soup's not paying attention here just yet. Lots of damage being done as the villagers finally retreating back. We do see these villagers do manage to stay alive. They're going to be moving over onto the boars here very, very shortly. The Raven coming over here, flying over those villagers as we are now going to see Joe starting to put some pressure onto this location over here. The raiding cavalry looking like they want to get involved as well. How many longhouses up for Joe? He's just got the 2 longhouses at this point, making himself Hersir, Ulfsuck, and throwing axeman here. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's a little bit under population at this point. If they take a good fight here, Soup might be able to win it, but nice micro thus far from Joe. But Soup manages to keep that raiding cavalry alive there. Nice one there, as we do see that forest fire getting dropped down as the villagers getting pulled back here. Soup in a bit of a weird position. He's going to be pulling back onto his gold mine. The villagers over here still getting shanked down here, or I guess jabbed down is probably the more technical term, as the Hersir comes through. Going to start pushing that Valkyrie away as this villager has to retreat all the way back home. You can see that Soup is playing it very, very nice and defensive here, keeping those low HP villagers very, very safe. As this ox cart also going to get sniped? Yes, it will. Nice play there as the army now coming through as Soup's trying to surround Joe's army. Joe's a little bit out of position here. 65 population apiece here at this point, but Joe's not comfortable taking this fight because look at this. We've got so many raiding cavalry here for Soup in this fight here, but Joe pulls back. He's going to be completely fine. He's going to turn around, take that choke point, and Soup has to retreat away. Meanwhile, the Valkyrie getting chased back. Still doesn't look like... Oh, it actually looks like Joe's got a slight lead down in this game. He's up 2 villagers thus far. That's going to be a really, really big help for him going forward. 3 villager lead, actually, at this point, as maybe Soup's forgotten to train some villagers or something. No, he's not. He's just a little bit behind on that production there. As we do see a cheeky forest fire getting thrown down there. That's a lot of dead units here as Joe gets caught out yet again. He's losing nearly every single one of those throwing axemen here. As he pulls back into his base, he's going to turn around on this choke point yet again. And Soup's playing that so nice. He kills off all those units, pulls back, and as Joe turns around, takes no damage on the retreat path there. Moving in, going to be looking to take out these villagers at this point as the raiding cavalry do spot that ox cart. It's got a lot of HP. Probably going to be able to take it down, however, and we will be seeing it getting picked off as the raiding cavalry will be retreating out of here. Nice play there. As we also see over here on this position, the Valkyrie is going to escape there. The Hersir gets taken down. Meanwhile, more units pushing out here for Soup as he is continuing to motor ahead in this game as Joe is in a very, very difficult position, and I am just realizing right now that my scoreboard is not up. So for those of you who are just joining, this is game number 1. I will be fixing that scoreboard. I might even do it as this game continues. Let's see if I can. No, I don't think I can. All right. Soup trying to push in. Nice defense here from Joe thus far as the dwarves getting pulled back over here as Joe's actually out of gold in his main base. This dwarf here going to get sniped down. Nice play there by Soup as he's managing to get a little bit closer in this game with the gold, as this gold mine is just still got 1,200 gold left in it for Soup, as Joe is going to be engaging on this fight over here as the raiding cavalry aren't here. And this is actually a decent fight right now for Joe as another Valkyrie is going to be coming through. We'll see if he's going to be able to take this one. It looks like there's not quite enough left here for Joe as he's going to be pulling back. 30 villagers still for Joe. He's still got that economic advantage ever so slightly, but he just can't continue in this game like the way he is, as the raiding cavalry are going to be swinging back over here, going to be hitting these villagers as best as they can. Joe needs to get himself out more military here somehow. He's 40 population behind, or 30 population behind if I could do a little bit of basic arithmetic, which I know I can't, but that's fine. But we'll be seeing those units getting chased back, and now the houses on this location over here are going to get taken down. Let's see if he can push in and get some good damage done. Meanwhile, over here, we do see that Joe has managed to defend on this position. Strong play thus far from Soup, though. We'll see how he's going to go Another longhouse coming up over here, as it looks like Soup might need to slow down just a little bit. He's getting himself Aurora Borealis. He's got himself a very, very heavy population lead, but the thing is, defending. I mean, Joe needs to Joe needs to know that he's not ahead right now. Sit back, play defensive. Much better play there if you can. As these units are just going to hang back here. The Boar are all finished up over here. This is the only location currently getting grabbed for Joe at this point. He's also on his herdables right now. No husbandry just yet there. As look at this Soup here. He's just controlling his army so nice. They're going to be able to take down this house as well. As we're now going to start seeing some raids coming through for Joe. As that gold mine, it's still not expired. There's still 100 gold left in it, and Joe's got himself like 1,000 gold in the bank here. It wouldn't be a bad idea for Joe to just take those dwarves off of gold and just jump onto the food over there. As you do see the army engaging yet again, as Soup is more than happily going to be taking these fights. These are Shield Maiden Valkyrie against just standard Valkyrie here, as Joe's army gets absolutely cleaned up here. Medium throw and axeman coming through. Meanwhile, the units coming in onto this position over here going to be hitting a couple of villager kills over there as well. As the villagers retreating back, Joe's going to be pulling all the way back into his base over here. As we see the Valkyries getting taken down, more villagers getting taken down over here, as well as the raiding cavalry going to be moving in onto this position, doing exactly what they can. We see more villagers getting taken out over here, as Soup has got a commanding position in this game, and Joe taps out. So, like, naturally, Soup wins the Norse Mirror, but when it comes down to it, that Joe had an advantage here, and I don't think he realized what his advantage was. All he has to do is sit back in this game and sit on that 2 villager lead, which might not seem like a lot, but in a Norse Mirror, you just sit back, wait till you get 115 population, which you will be able to get, stop losing units, and just defend. And you should be okay here, but I think Joe just... There was a couple of moments where Joe just pushed out, and he just lost so many units on his retreat that if he just never pushed out in the first place, he would never have lost those units, and he would have been completely fine here. But Soup gets a first dub here. His Thor is going to be out now, though, so that's one of his best gods. So Joe's still got all of his Egyptians left, remember. So we'll see how he's going to go here in this series. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Also give a huge thanks to DoD Marty for hosting it. And I'll see you guys in the next game.